So today I wanted to give you guys a flip through of the new American history book from Connor Boyack. This is a beautiful hardcover American history textbook, but it's not what you would imagine from a textbook. If you've seen the Tuttle Twin series, it's exactly what you'd expect from Connor Boyack and Elijah Stanfield, and it clearly is very similar to their Tuttle Twin series as far as the graphics and the really interesting and engaging way that things are portrayed. So we just purchased this. We're going to use it for our fourth grader in the fall. And I know my other kids would have loved this if this was available way back in the day for them, but I was excited to grab it, and I think you might love it too, especially if you've already tried out the Tuttle Twins and you love them. So I wanted to give you a sneak peek so I can page through it, because it's hard to buy stuff online sometimes. You can't look through it, you're not sure what it's all about, and so I wanted to show you that. So when I did this pre-order, I just wanted to let you know I also got some bonuses, which depending on when you order it, they might be bonuses or it might be something you have to purchase separately. But I was given the companion curriculum workbook, which is a PDF. It's 200 pages of lesson planning and all the activities and all the assignments. And what I noticed is it feels very much, there's lots of hands-on projects and recipes and different things to try and build your own Gutenberg press and stuff, but they also center it around two ongoing projects, which would be a time traveler's journal and a time traveler's map. So to me, looking at this as a seasoned homeschooler, I'm seeing notebooking, and it looks like it's kind of taking that approach where your child is going to have this journal that they keep as they go throughout the book and keep adding to it, along with a map, a world map that they keep adding to as they learn about the history and all that kind of thing. So that's an interesting bonus, or you might want to purchase it separately if it's not offered as a bonus when you look at this specific textbook. The other thing I got as a bonus was a 6-hour MP3 audiobook, which is this in audio format, which audiobooks are awesome. If you don't want to have to read the whole thing to your kids, they can sit down with it, look at the pictures, look at it as they listen to it read to them. That's another way to approach it. And then I also got some bonus videos also. So the one other thing I wanted to let you know about America's history is that their goal was not to make it a traditional, dry, boring, factual textbook where your kids just regurgitate facts, which I really appreciate. They wanted to talk about the why. Why did things happen? Because kids love that. It's so interesting. They are curious naturally. And so it is a perfect fit for homeschoolers, and a lot of us have this philosophy. We want our kids to enjoy learning and to love learning and not just memorize dry facts and spit them out on a test. We want them to really be engaged in the learning process. And I think the way that this Tuttle Twins America's History book is set up, it will do just that, because that was their goal, to do it in a really interesting way. So without further ado, let me show you what this book actually looks like, and I'll walk you through some of the things that I noticed when I flipped through it. So here's the inside of the Tuttle Twin series of stories, America's History, and it's divided into about 11 chapters. And if you notice from the cover, it starts way back in 1215 and ends in 1776. So instead of just starting with, the American Revolution or the Declaration of Independence and kind of just saying, hey, this happened, they really take time to go back and see why things happened. Remember, I told you they don't just want your kids memorizing facts and be able to name the dates of important documents and important events. They want them to understand why. So see that thought from Connor, and let's talk about it. Those are what you're going to see at the end of every chapter. So Connor or Elijah kind of gets in there and says, here's why you need to know this. I know you might think that, we're going way back in time, but that's really important. And then the talk about it section gives you discussion questions. So instead of being a book based on just tons of dry facts, your kids are really they're really trying to get your kids to have discussion and to understand things. You see these little more about me boxes. These are the historical things you can deep dive into even more if you want to. And so it's all set up. You can see the inside. It looks just like a Tuttle Twins book, right? It's not your typical looking textbook with historical pictures all throughout. I mean, it's in a cartoon kind of style, a little bit like comic book, graphics. Very appealing to the kids. There's all these more about us. You can dive into these aspects if you want to do some more research. There's always that let's talk about it at the end of every chapter. It gives you great discussions. And so here are just a few more pictures. You can see the inside. We do have, the text, which is like read like a book. It really is just read like a story. Very interesting. We've got our timelines. We've got some interesting looking maps so they can really understand what's going on. Here's your typical what you might expect to see in a textbook, but then these pages don't look like a textbook at all. So to wrap up, of course, we have the original Tuttle Twins series, which started it all, which are shorter books that your kids will love, teaching them the principles of liberty, entrepreneurship, economics. And then, of course, their newest, a Tuttle Twins series of stories of America's history. And then what a lot of parents don't know is that Connor Boyack has also written Passion-Driven Education. This is for you parents who want to learn how your homeschooling can be really enjoyable for you and your children. We had Connor on the Homeschool with Moxie podcast back on episode 62. So check that out at 4onemore.com/62 and grab his book. You will love it.